Mystery font. Broken wings. Broken wings. Broken wings. Baby, I don't understand why we can't just hold on to each other's hands. This time might be the last I fear, unless I make this all too clear. I need you so. Take these broken wings and learn to fly again, live and love so free. When we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up. Let us in. Take these broken wings. Baby, I think tonight we can take what was wrong and make it right. Baby, it's all I know that you're half of the flesh, blood that makes me whole, and you so. Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Learn to live so free. When you hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in. Take these broken wings. Got to learn to fly and live and love so free. When we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in. Yeah, yeah. broken wings, learn to live so free. When we hear the voices sing, book of love will open up, let us in. Take these broken wings, you've got to learn to fly. Live and love so free. When we hear the voices sing, the book of love will open up and let us in. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's all I know. Good gracious. Like no one's ever seen before. Like no one's ever seen before.
Under Trump, we can all be hopeful.
From the mystery font in Minneapolis. It's mystery font 42 Ope Intuit. DEI is humanity. Let's take a look at this. It's called Siege, and I think it's been accurate since it was made, and I think it continues to escalate, and we will need to stop it. It will not be stopped by anyone but the second greatest generation. I'm going to play it and speak with the text to the degree possible, along with it. This could have been made any day in the last 9 years. But it was made in 2016 or early 2017. It was posted sometime in early 2017. All right. Siege. There we go. Siege, looting the United States of America for bragging rights, wealth, and power. A sustained campaign of plunder, repression, disenfranchisement, emotional violence, manipulation, and callous fear-mongering. Yet the most unstable president in American history seems to think he's star of America, licensed to kill. A sustained campaign, killing vital parts of America that protect all citizens, to make way for even greater corporate power. They run for every resource and stranglehold they can acquire. Bannon and Trump are destroying our habitat. They were to disable the free press. They rip autonomy and healthcare from women. They nurture a culture of white supremacy. Women's very well-being under attack. Bigotry and heinous example of violence swell from the president's example. President Trump shows no sign of shame, empathy, or any responsibility. What does it say? I'm not going back. Siege is still there, poking out. Virulent racism and hateful sexism, terrifying Americans and citizens of the world. The ugly Americans are in charge. American citizens are in an abusive relationship with the President of the United States and team. They lie every day and are lying without shame and about vital issues. They've accused vague millions of Americans of voter fraud without any proof. They display no shame. They provoke outrage on purpose as part of a wider effort to develop citizens' paralysis, preempting effective opposition. It seems they will do anything they can get away with. They walk at a normal pace, but make no mistake, this is a siege, long, unforgiving, brutal, a siege, and so it continues. Once more. No, not that. Go back to the previous. There we go. All right. Uno mas. No tempo mas. It is Siege. Siege. Looting the United States of America for bragging rights, wealth, and power, a sustained campaign of plunder, repression, disenfranchisement, emotional violence, manipulation, and callous fear-mongering. Yet the most unstable president in American history seems to think he's star of America, licensed to kill. Killing vital parts of America that protect all citizens to make way for ever greater corporate power. They run for every resource and stranglehold they can acquire. Bannon and Trump are destroying our habitat. They work to disable the free press. They rip autonomy and healthcare from women. They nurture a culture of white supremacy. Women's very well-being under attack. Bigotry and heinous example swell from the president's example. President Trump shows no signs of shame, empathy, or true responsibility. Virulent racism and hateful sexism terrifying Americans and citizens of the world. The ugly Americans are in charge. American citizens are in an abusive relationship with POTUS and team. They lie every day. They are lying without shame and about vital issues. They've accused vague millions of Americans of voter fraud without any proof. This is a siege, long, unforgiving, brutal, a siege, and so it continues. All right, it wants me to laugh. People not laughing about things. Okay, I can get with that. Let's go here. Shall we? Shall we not? We need help. We all need help. Because you are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood? You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations.
Quote, he was captured, calling Americans who died in wars suckers and losers.
Grooming tactic of a narcissist.
And saying that the Medal of Freedom, a civilian award, is much better than the Medal of Honor because service members who receive this top military honor are often gravely wounded or dead.
In your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger looking into your eyes saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone. It is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood?
And the regulations that Arlington National Cemetery put forth to be able to be present there, and specifically dealing with Section 60. I mean, it seems pretty clear that there was a violation of those rules.
Yeah, I mean, the rules are simple. It is that, number one, there is no allowance. You are never allowed to have a campaign event or any kind of campaign partisan event that happens on Arlington National Cemetery grounds. It's simply not allowed. Now, this is where this got a little bit gray, Katie, and that is the fact that former President Trump was invited to this wreath-laying event by the families of several of the service members who were killed at Abbey Gate 3 years ago, and he was there in his capacity as the former president of the United States. Now, for that reason, he was allowed to be there to participate with the families in the memorial event. He was allowed to have official photographers and videographers at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. That's actually pretty common. There's frequent media coverage there. You frequently see video and photos of that. That part was not at issue here. After that event, though, Katie, they moved on to Section 60, the motorcade, and several of the family members of those fallen service members, and that's where this incident occurred. Now, the rules are very clear. You are not allowed to have videographers or photographers at Section 60 collecting any kind of images, but not just that. You cannot, anything that anyone does there, whether it's the staff or former President Trump, none of the video or content that they collect is allowed to then be used in the capacity of his campaign. Though that's also very clearly written into the rules. But the issue here, though, is that's very difficult to enforce at the time. So what we've learned in the last 48 hours or so is that was
shocking boundary violations.
Confronted by the Arlington National Cemetery employee telling
grooming tactic.
Staff member then pushed that Arlington Cemetery employee. Now, the Army put out a statement today that is frankly more forceful than we tend to hear from them, and it was clearly in defense of this Arlington Cemetery staff member, saying that she acted professionally, really defending her actions here, and saying that what she did was to maintain the dignity and the respect of those hallowed grounds, as you call it.
And pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone.
Yeah, so Section 60 is, I don't mean to imply that any part of Arlington Cemetery is not considered hallowed ground, but it's the place where many of the service members who have died or been killed in the recent conflicts are buried. That's why one of the service members that we see the photo of former President Trump standing at is one of the service members who was killed in Afghanistan in 2021. So it has taken on even more of there are even stricter rules there for taking photos and videos. And just so our audience understands exactly why that is, the staff at Arlington Cemetery and the Department of the Army in general, they want to make sure that people aren't there taking photos of mourners. They want to protect the dignity and the privacy of people who might be there, who are still in a very real mourning situation, who may have lost loved ones in recent years. And they want to make sure that they are not in any way exploited. So it's not just campaigns or anything, it's media restrictions about what you can and cannot take video and photos of at Section 60 are extremely strict, and they are very strongly enforced, and they have been for some time. That's one of the reasons that this has really had so much outcry, because of the fact that they were standing on the graves of individuals who had been killed or died in very recent years. Again, people are still very actively mourning these service members there. And then some of those photos were then released on social media. And as you mentioned, there was even some video that was used in a TikTok video for the campaign, Katie.
Courtney, quickly before I got to let you go, though, we have not received any reporting that Trump himself or the Trump campaign has reprimanded or said anything about that Trump aide who physically assaulted an Arlington Cemetery employee, correct?
Correct. And we do know that the military police were called right as soon after that incident, the pushing occurred, and they came to the scene. They did take statements from at least one, or more likely several, of the Arlington Cemetery staffers who were there, who saw what happened, including the individual involved. They did approach some of the Trump staff members, but there was no formal statement given. And I will say, in that statement that we got from the Department of the Army today, they said that the staff member has decided not to press charges, and they consider this matter closed. Katie.
MSNBC Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kube, I really appreciate you taking the time to explain everything about what happened at Arlington with Donald Trump and your time tonight. Thank you for being here.
You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood.
Taken down. 2020, a portion of 16th Street Northwest was renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza following
the falsehood. Who is the falsehood? feet of separation sets the fear of separation. 6, the fear of separation. He didn't mean to cause a panic.
Shocking boundary violations
He didn't
meant to terrify and hurt people with genocidal intent, to say you are not welcome here, to say to the ancestors of enslaved hostages and enslaved peoples, go back where you came from. You who built the White House, you who have saved the lives
You
of white
are
people every
in
day.
an abusive relationship.
Shocking boundary violations are how a dark triad predator
Shocking
asserts
boundary
control
violations
over one portion of a body at
are
a time,
one common
whether it's a person
grooming
or a country.
tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen
choosing to
and
destroy
pulls their
the
finger
most
like a trigger,
important
looking
and precious things
into your eyes, saying,
like
I could
families
shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone.
and tenuous growing
It is a good
understanding
indicator
between peoples
of a bad
between whom
situation.
there's been strife based on
You
apartheid and
are
falsehood
in
and
an
racism
abusive relationship.
and hatred and misogyny and all kinds of bigoted terrorism.
Who has leveraged
He's bringing back the Confederacy.
and climbed upon
It is crime.
a fog
It is crime.
of falsehood?
And it is Jeffrey Dahmer level societal damage. It is horrific,
Has donned
racist, illegal,
falsehood.
immoral, disgusting, antichrist, Ku Klux Klan cancer.
is
These people do not need enabling.
falsehood.
They need help. They need to be brought to healthcare immediately. Stephen Miller and Tom Homan are maniacs, and they do not deserve to be in charge of a restaurant, let alone other people's lives or well-being. They are Nazis, and they are fucking maniacs. When someone points into a camera, knowing you're going to look into the view screen, and pulls their finger like they're pulling the trigger of a gun, saying, I could shoot you and not lose you. You are dealing with a predator. He lies very, very, very well. He lies by casting a fog of genteel, sweet, gentle kindness about horror. Or in the wake of something atrocious, as if somehow we're absolved. His miracle is defiling us and making us tolerate it. He is a predator. He is allowing a mini him to gut our body, and shocking boundary violations like destroying a plaza
You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood?
Sets the fear of separation. Six, the fear of separation. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He didn't mean to cause a panic. Prepared people can plan and plan quick. He didn't mean to cause a panic. He meant to draw iceberg Titanic. We are receiving attack from the President of the United States. When, other than Pearl Harbor or 9/11 or the Red Scare, what comes close to the society-wide effect of terrorism and targeting of women, of military incentivization of rape for the purpose of enslavement of women by a small radicalized group of racist murderers who have thrown a term DEI over everyone, including women,
everyone except for white, cis, straight men is now not on the guest list unless they're a +1 of a white man. It is racist, Nazi, Ku Klux Klan, crime, and damage. It is a betrayal. It is treasonous. They lied to create a murderous, enslaving, raping Handmaid's Tale. It is crime. That alone is treason. That is havoc and enslavement upon people who were lied to and are smaller than 49% of the population, of the adult population. It is crime. It is betrayal. It is wrong upon us. It is utilization of the levers of power through falsehood, not just to get into power, to use power to destroy America, to destroy humanity, to destroy empathy, and to enslave people. It is damage, and it is sin. No reason but a bit of bragging rights and weak profits to decimate ancient forests. It is sin. It is crime. Targeting immigrants who are less likely to commit crime, as if bringing 1 or 2 tragedies that happen to be the less likely variety that includes an immigrant, and scapegoating them just like Hitler did, like Goebbels did. Stephen Miller and Tom Homan and J.D. Vance and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump are fucking white patriarchal terrorists. They are murderers. They are murderers. They are using language to commit damage through expansion of falsehoods that are lynch mob sowing venom. We have seen it before, and the trap of democracy should be fucking sprung. They have confessed and showed themselves. You do a Nazi salute on the stage of power, it doesn't matter if it was a joke. You are disqualified, as in you are physically removed from the quality of fideness. Your fidelity is dispatched. You are fucked off of the stage. Your wall is built around you. You disgusting raper and rapist culture accelerationist. He is a seductive, hypnotic liar. His lie is not just each horrific boundary violation that he deserves to do it. It's not just every made up false alternative fact. It is the masterfully mimicked guise of being someone who has done nothing wrong. When he's molesting a child under the table, when he has someone hostage in a basement, when he still holds documents that endanger American citizens around the world. when he is holding us hostage now, when he is sowing genocide against queer people, trans people, against immigrants, like his wife and Elon Musk, against immigrants, but really against people of a darker complexion, because he is a racist. He is a terroristic and anti-American, immoral, evil Ku Klux Klan terrorist, working to make life worse for people due to their skin color, due to their heritage, or due to difference in ability, or due to being neurodivergent. These are parts of genocide. It is not a game. It is not a joke. It's not a small cut to the budget where the kids will have to use the uniforms from last year. This shit is killing people and destroying lives. It is destroying science. It is decimating birthright unless we stop it peacefully now. We have to recover our wits and memory that we are the citizens of this country, or it literally will be taken from us with our permission. Silence is applause. Silence to this fascist Nazi terrorist is applause, because his reality's distortion says it is. We have to counteract the hokum. We have to stop allowing the hokum to choke. We can't allow the hokum to choke us. We have to break through the hokum. We have to hold these predators, these Ku Klux Klan neo-Nazi predators who have occupied our government. We need to stop enabling them and get them to health care and remove these ridiculous raping predators. They are havoc. They are crime. They're eugenicists, mass murderers. The quote cuts they're talking about amount to mass murder and amount to enslaving people and pushing people into homelessness and thus enslavement and thus trafficking. It is sabotage. If we equate this to damage that happens during war and look at the disposition of Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of these people, it is just war with Darvo. It is undeclared civil war used to develop pieces of paper that are folded over and take out human rights. Whoopsie, we just worked for 50 years to become sure that this was the time when we could destroy the citizenship of women and the agency of women, or could just start chipping away, almost as if we have, it's almost as if Donald Trump is wearing a Confederate bandana around his head. Like, it is simply white supremacist terrorism. This ridiculous idea to criminalize people for engaging in a boogeyman, essentially, of non-white cis maleness. Like, fuck this ridiculous bullshit about DEI. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and access is fucking basic to humanity. And these are ridiculous MAGA Nazi terrorists working to find who have, for the moment, found a word, a cluster of letters that they are using as the new general N-word and slur against anyone who's not a straight white cis man. It is institution of white male supremacy. It is illegal, devastating discrimination and murderous enslaving havoc and theft. It is crime. It is fucking anti-human, anti-Christ crime. That's what we're dealing with. Almost like no one's ever seen before. But only because it is the confluence of this incredible evil malice of someone willing to use the power to distort his identity and apply it to this era and the technology that lets someone who desires to shatter people's lives by hunting what is most meaningful and enslaving it or defiling it and squandering it and abandoning it and then hunting it again and defiling it and then publicly making everyone witness the person celebrate that defilement and tolerate it. Whether it's Ted Cruz or Mitch McConnell or Cenk Uygur. He likes to defile. It's a fetish. He likes to destroy what's meaningful. And he uses lies that hurt when he can't find power to simply break. Which is why he attempts this gaslight attack about meritocracy. When we all know who is earning most of the high-level degrees, the masters and PhDs, are going to black men and black women. Black women for grad degrees and black men and women for PhD degrees, like 75 and 80%. There are all kinds of ways in which white people actually, mostly by adherence to white supremacist patriarchal terrorism, are inferior. White supremacy didn't earn it. White supremacy didn't earn it. And we are neither waste nor fraud. DEI is humanity. We are neither waste nor fraud. Reality distortions that miss essential things like this are not just incompetence. takes will to make cuts that kill. Whether you're holding the scalpel or the gun or the funding mechanism to do something that is abominable, however you deliver abomination, it's time to make other choices than to select any type of abomination. Take it out of the taxes you're going to apply to people at the top, starting right fucking now. Take it out of the massive payments you make to everyone making under $5 million a year and increasing up until the highest payout for people who are below the poverty line. And it is to supply humanity for the ongoing massive theft of our output, creative and logistical, that is being stolen and cannibalized as resource that is AI, that is the seedbed of AI intelligence. We will be paid if you are going to bring to life more and more and more artists who aren't human and pay them to live. You will pay the artists and minds that make up what you will continue to need. You will not enslave us, and you will not put us into virtual reality tanks. You will not grind us up. You will not abandon your responsibility. You will not mirror to other people or try to normalize the idea that we abandon one another. None of us are waste. None of us are fraud. Not even the poorest-hearted man in the world, whether it's Elon or Trump. We don't know. Maybe it's J.D. Vance. Maybe it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. But whoever it is that has donned the falsehood, if you or anyone you know, if you discover that you have any idea, any information that could lead us to the identity of the falsehood, I know the White House has multiple new tip lines. I think most of them are probably best to flood with reports about the massive discrimination coming into America through the White House, about the massive crime and the escalation of rape culture emanating from the White House. But maybe also mention that chief among the waste and fraud you see around you is the projection of waste and fraud upon humankind and American citizens and residents and our guests. And it's abominable. We're neither waste nor fraud, and we're not stupid. When we hear J.D. Vance say that immigrants are ruining housing, or that that Elon Musk say that Social Security is a magnet, we're not stupid, and we know that immigrants who are undocumented do not receive Social Security, but they do pay into it billions. We know that we cannot trust a truly pathological rapist and liar. No matter how seductively he calls us waste or fraud, no matter how seductively they dehumanize people, we have to stand together, or we will be separated. If we are separated, it will be because we don't stand up for people that we don't understand, that we allow ourselves to create tolerance for othering because Nazis are scaring us to try to do that, to see difference as other rather than part of the diversity of humanity. The ongoing attack on empathy is crime. It's incredibly disgusting and inhuman behavior to speak that way. And I don't really agree with violence. But Elon Musk really should have met consequences, and Donald Trump really should have met consequences from people around them. There are a lot of people who have been terrified to say no. And it's because Donald Trump demands. He demands people treat him as though he has absolute authority, and continues to demand that he does have this absolute authority. And you don't always even have to squint. Sometimes the hokum field just kind of pops into view, although it happens more here than other places. Here at Mystery Font 42, but I think we do need to have a very sober look at what we have allowed to get in, and realize that we have been taken. That we should all have a listen to the Donald Trump January 6th choir recording and realize that we have been taken by seditious insurrectionist traitors who are gutting us and killing people. And it has to be stopped. We actually have to be the guardians of liberty and end this tyranny. It's what America does when tyrants sink in teeth to our substrate and to our families. They're attacking our Constitution, as in our document, our founding documents, and the Constitution of our nation's body, of all of our bodies. It is havoc. We have to come together as one, or we're going to fall together, but much more alone. need to come together as one. Really, it's just to remember. It's just to remember that at least we have like interests, to tolerate the existence of people who are not like us. And that's part of humanity. Oh well. Come, be one. Come, be one. Come, be one. New under the sun, we are a kindness. Come, my kindness is where my kindness comes from. We are a kindness come. We are a kindness come with every symptom. We are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. We are a kindness. Please be one. New under the sun, we are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. Please be one.
He didn't mean to cause a panic. This has happened before, right? That you ask for the watch, as in, I want to be the one you come to. If there's ever an issue, come to me. I want you to come and find me, he says. And then when someone says, Flint's water is not so great, what happens? When someone says, you know, we might not want to get rid of that pandemic team, Obama has some recommendations we want to listen to. Not so much. When indeed COVID rears its head, what does he do? Oh, he waits about 6 weeks, holding information that murdered over 1 million people. If you utilize the watch to instead see things coming that you can utilize to make money from, or hurt people, or damage, or make them panic, you need to sell things off cheap. We're going through someone utilizing power to take us as a country and just bang us as an entire nation, like up and down and down and down, to just bang us. Fostering a similar kind of purge that happened with COVID, but worse, and that destabilizes and escalates exponentially. Wealth and enslavement, disenfranchisement that enslaves. And we are neither waste nor fraud. We are, all of us are humanity. Perceive the hokum, and when you know it's there but can't otherwise perceive it, note that too. And if you have any information that can lead us to the identity of the falsehood, let's come together. I mean, I think we maybe can pull this off, you know? I think we can do this. We just need to put our eyes out there, keep our eyes, keep our peepers peeped. We will eventually, we will recognize, I believe, the identity of the falsehood. And if the above image is of any help, if that jogs anyone's memory, if you recognize the individual in the image of the falsehood above, it may seem like it's something like no one's ever seen before, but if for some reason you find that image looks familiar to you,
if you have any information that could lead to the apprehension of the falsehood. It's our duty as Americans to find and apprehend the falsehood. And someday we may understand their identity, but let's hope we understand who it is in time. Once again, if you have any idea who this individual could be, their theorized existence and their ability to cloud people's minds so that they cannot perceive their true identity is truly pernicious. And what's more, their calling card has been left everywhere. So the question is not, is there someone who has woven fibers of hokum around us for a decade? It's who? Who? Who has donned the falsehood? The question is, who has donned the falsehood?
Cry